In an Arizona Cardinals world that's been muddled with negativity and losing, let's take about 25 minutes and talk about the positives surrounding this team, because there are some. Let's discuss.
You are Locked On Cardinals, your daily Arizona Cardinals podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Locked On Cardinals, Alex Clancy here. Thanks for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, now the #1 sports podcast platform on the planet. What do the positives mean? At the end of this show, I'll discuss the positives and how it can actually translate to something that isn't what we're witnessing right now with this team. What can all the young talent mature into? And what do we need to watch for the rest of the year in an effort to see the rumblings of star talent from the young guys that we haven't seen already? I'll talk about that in the second segment. Trey McBride's going to get his first because, he's pretty good. Today's episode of Locked On Cardinals is brought to you by FanDuel. If you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. Trey McBride has been a vision, okay? Trey McBride has been, everything you wanted him to be and a million times more this year. 88 receptions, 879 yards, 8 touchdowns. And there's 5 games left. He's going to shatter records this year. Maybe not all-time records, definitely Arizona Cardinals records. And when you look at teams who have that go-to tight end for years, really it was like Tony Gonzalez with Kansas City and Atlanta, and then Shannon Sharp, and then you have the influx. And I know I'm missing him. Antonio Gates, obviously. And then, you have the influx. I'm just fast-forwarding to now of Travis Kelce, George Kittle. It's like Trey McBride's the next one. And when you have a tight end that is the son of your offense, it changes the way opposing defenses have to scheme, naturally. Because here's the thing. Trey McBride's always open. And he catches the ball, and he runs the ball, and he catches everything, and he scores touchdowns, and he does all this stuff. The Cardinals have him, and they just gave him an extension. He ain't going anywhere. He loves being here. This isn't a get me out, this team sucks situation. So you've got your staple in the pass-catching game, maybe for the next, truly, 10 years. Truly, if he stays here. He's young. He's incredibly talented. And he's a guy that you're going to be able to build around forever. So obviously things are going to change this offseason, whether it be play caller or coach, quarterback, whatever it may be. A constant remains in Trey McBride. So not only does Trey McBride allow for just a pure unlocking of other guys because there's going to be so much attention paid to him forever. You've got that skeleton key. It allows for a blossoming of an offense that you feature wide receivers, where you wouldn't be featuring them where you're not featuring them as much because of him. And running backs out of the backfield when they're healthy to catch passes. It's a completely different vantage point by opposing defensive coordinators and coaches when a tight end is the focal point and not a wide receiver. Because they're very few and far between. And I think there's power in that. And this isn't just glossing up or rainbows and butterflying, rose-colored glasses, whatever you want to use. Having an all-world tight end for the next, you'd hope, 10 years is an absolute cheat code. It's an absolute cheat code. So you've got him. Positive. The bright spot. I said 2 months ago, I'm like, the only thing I feel absolutely sure on with the Arizona Cardinals is Trey McBride. That's it. Honorable mentions on the offensive side of the ball. Paris Johnson Jr. Okay. Paris has been up and down this year, mostly up. I'm hell-bent on the fact that losing Tip Ryman, as well as not having a really rock-solid left guard to play alongside him, has caused his production to plummet at times, depending on what defense they're playing against. He's not a reason they're losing games. He's not a liability like other left tackles in the league. He is going to be the Arizona Cardinals left tackle for the next 10 years. Pillar, staple, honorable mention, positive, still very young, still has a lot of room to grow. But over the first couple years that he's been in the league, there haven't been very many oh-no moments. You would have seen it when he was playing right tackle his rookie year going against the fronts they went up against. Sure, he wasn't perfect. Pro Football Focus wasn't a huge fan of his rookie season. But the dude has grown, matured, and really set in stone that they've got their left tackle for the future. It'll be interesting to see what happens when they get their run game back. And he's not going to have to pass protect 50 to 60 times a game. And he can really level up, get into the run blocking schemes. And again, with Tip Ryman back, it's going to help a lot of things. Another kind of honorable mention, you got to put Marv and Trey and Michael Wilson together as the X. You don't really know what it's going to be yet. And the what's it mean segment, I'm going to dive a little bit more into this, but it's like we've seen proof of concept this year, better than last year, better than the year before, primarily when Jacoby Brissett took over. It's just factual numbers-wise that these guys are able to produce in an NFL. People are like, oh, Marv's a bust. I'm like, come on. He's shown a lot more this year than he did last year. The numbers aren't necessarily indicative of that. He's been hurt, he had the appendicitis. But let's say the jury's far more still out than back with a verdict that he's not a guy. And Michael Wilson showed the 2 weeks that Marv was out and flashes when Jacoby Brissett's been here that he is a bona fide wide receiver 2 in this league. So the biggest viewpoint for the offense for me moving forward for the rest of the year is, can that three-headed monster produce? Can they pepper in Greg Dortch? It's going to be difficult if Trey Benson doesn't play because I think they have 1 week left to bring him back or he's going to be on season-ending IR. If they're going to have some sort of balance like they did a little bit last week with the rush attack to see what this pass game is when it's not just on an island and everybody knows they're throwing the ball every down. So on offense for me, by and large, above all else, it's not even the offensive line moving forward. It's like, you know what you got. You're going to have to improve it. That's what it is. You know what you got with Jacoby Brissett. You're not going to be able to improve it or change it or anything like that because the run game isn't there, because the offensive line isn't playing great. You got to see the spotlight around Trey McBride, Marvin Harrison Jr., and Michael Wilson for the rest of the year to see if they can be productive at a level that's impressive when everybody knows in the building that Jacoby Brissett is throwing the ball the majority of the time. But those are positives. And listen, I know that Marv hasn't been good at times this year. I know that Michael Wilson has been non-existent sometimes this year. You can't fake what happened with Michael Wilson those last 2 weeks without Marv. And even if you want to say the garbage time stuff against San Francisco, it was happening the entire game. And you can definitely not say Jacksonville was any sort of garbage time because that was a one-score game pretty much throughout. And he was able to produce. That three-headed monster is what we're going to be focusing on for the rest of the year to see what it really is when everybody knows they're throwing the ball every down. Because imagine what it could be like when you can actually have some sort of semblance of a run game and an improved offensive line, which they most definitely will have in 2026. Locked On Cardinals, your team every day. The young talent on defense. Fascinating in a wildly different way. I'll discuss it next. Today's episode of Locked On Cardinals is brought to you by Aura Frames. The holidays are officially here, and which, you got to start giving gifts, man. And you got to hunt. Season's on. And if you want something meaningful, personal, and guaranteed to get a reaction, Aura Frames is the gift that delivers every single time. It's not just something you wrap. It's a way to share memories because Aura isn't your average picture frame. You can preload the frame with photos before gifting it, so when you plug it in, the memory's already there. No apps to figure out, no setup headaches, just instant smiles. Like, say you have a grandparent or an aging parent or, a younger person who isn't super equipped with technology, you can preload all of the memories, all of the pictures onto Aura Frames before you give it to them. So all they have to do is plug it in. You can add a personalized message right inside the frame so the gift feels thoughtful. The moment it's open and packaging comes gift ready, no price tag, no wrapping needed. It's a huge one. It's a holiday gift that, actually gets used, not forgotten in a drawer. For a limited time, save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off Aura's best-selling Carver Mat frames, named #1 by Wirecutter by using promo code LOCKEDON at checkout. That's auraframes.com. Promo code LOCKEDON. This deal is exclusive to listeners and frames sell out fast, so orders your now to get it in time for the holidays. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions apply. Please go to the YouTube channel, search Locked On Arizona Cardinals, hit that subscribe button, man. You know the drill. You know what we're doing here. Did the squad show last night. If you haven't checked that out, that was a good show. It was fun. 3 dodgeball references because the young one, Ben Garcia, hasn't seen it before. So Jamil and I had to learn him on it. Yeah, that was funny. We also talked about the Cardinals too. So not just, pop culture stuff. The young talent on defense is a little bit tougher to figure out right now. Part of it is because there hasn't been as much, empirical evidence due to injuries. And part of it is because the curve for defensive players to catch up on defense is steeper at times than offense. And I know that sounds super generic, but Walter Nolan, first game back, game wrecker. Took him a couple months to get there, game wrecker immediately. Had a sack, had a tackle for a loss. Dude, that dude's special. All over Twitter, all of the draft pundits, all of them that lauded the Cardinals for taking Walter Nolan at 16, just quote tweeted his first sack on Twitter and said DT1, defensive tackle 1, best in the class. And unfortunately, he's been hurt. So the problem is with that, it's okay, so another first-round pick who's missed chunks of time. We don't know if he's going to come back this year. But what we've seen so far is really promising. That's a differentiator between, Darius Robinson and B.J. Ojulari, who showed a little flash early, but not much. Walter Nolan came in like a hurricane and then left as quickly. So we've seen the proof of concept in a very small sample size. You'd like to see more. You don't know if he's going to come back this year. But from what you've seen, you've got to be happy with, and you just got to take that for what it is. The DBs. This is the big one for me, and I'll talk about Cody Simon in a second. This is the big one for me. Will Johnson, day 1, snap 1, was an NFL cornerback. Couple early holding penalties, illegal contact, things like that very early in the season. You thought you were going to lose him for some time in the Carolina game, just like you thought you were going to lose Garrett Williams for the year. Luckily, he's come back. Max Melton went down in that game too. He was the highest rated corner through 5 or 6 weeks, according to Pro Football Focus, in the league, not just rookies. And when you couple him with Garrett Williams, Budda Baker, Jalen Thompson, Davian Taylor-Demerson when he's healthy, this secondary can be very special. Okay. Problem is, again, we haven't seen a lot of it this year. We haven't seen fully healthy defense pretty much at all since week 2. And even then, Walter Nolan wasn't playing. So I know most teams are missing at least one starter for chunks of the season. May not be the biggest impact starter, but it's not an original story. Having said that, when it's been great, it's been elite. And I could be Uncle Ricoing this, going back to the Dallas game where they gave up 10 points to the second highest scoring team in the NFL when Garrett Williams and Will Johnson were on the field together. I know they've been giving up in the 20s when they've been playing together lately. Max Melton seemingly fallen out of favor, which is something to watch. But when you look at the good from this year, that's the kind of stuff that carries over. He's a rookie. Garrett Williams is up for a contract extension. I know he's missed time again this year, but I think you've got your 1-2 punch for the future. And then Budda Baker is going to play at least another 1 or 2 years. You'd expect Jalen Thomas has played pretty well this year. He's played pretty well this year. He had a bounce back from last season. So Just like for the entire team, where it's like, you don't know where to point the finger at most. It's kind of the same way with the defense. It's like, well, they haven't been healthy for a large chunk of the season, the majority of the season. When they are, we saw it against Dallas, really, really good. Against a really good offense. But the positives looking forward, Will Johnson. He's a positive. Walter Nolan, from what we've seen, positive with elite upside, just like Will Johnson. And I know Garrett Williams isn't as young as those guys, but this secondary has potential to be top 5, top 7, just like the defense does. We'll see what happens with ADG. We'll see what happens with Calais, Darius Robinson, like Zaven Collins. It's like, when is enough to really level up everything? I do think, and this isn't defending the defense, I do think the offense, having struggles running the ball, impacts the defense too. It takes away, even though the Cardinals' time of possession has been really high, they're top 10 in time of possession, it just removes the possibility for true complementary football. So the defense has had to be reactionary the entire year. And I think outside of the 2 losses to Seattle and 49ers, Seattle was 2 scoop and scores by the defense, and the kickoff return for almost a touchdown that resulted in a touchdown the next play. Just it puts everybody on their heels. You got to kind of burn the game script, burn the game plan. But when we're talking about positives that have potential for real, like incredibly elite, impactful momentum starting in 2026, Will Johnson, Walter Nolan, Garrett Williams, and then Budda Baker and Jalen Thompson. And then an honorable mention, Cody Simon's played pretty well, man. And I had this. This isn't like a pat on the back thing. It's like, if Cody Simon is forced to play multiple meaningful snaps and chunks and games, you saw it on the tape. The dude's a beast. You're not the defensive player of the game. They're not the defensive MVP of the national championship game on the best team in the country by accident. And the Cardinals have the last 2 in Will Johnson and Cody Simon. He's smart. He's cerebral. He's a good tackler. He's not the best in coverage. But if he's the heir apparent to Mack Wilson, the Cardinals are in a good spot. He's more of a question mark because you need to see more, and it's difficult with the green dot, and it's not as mathematically, it's more difficult to determine impact as an off-ball backer unless you're an elite one. You haven't seen any oh-no moments. You haven't seen really any, Cody Simon blew that coverage, and there goes a 65-yard touchdown. So by and large, the rookie class this year on defense, pretty damn good. And I mean, Denzel Burke, TBD. Dart throw, he's playing more snaps than Max Melton now. So we'll see. Jordan Birch, you'd like him to make a little bit more impact, but I think playing behind Josh Sweat and Zaven Collins and Baron Browning and, all these guys, it's like, he'll get his chance. He'll get his chance. But for positives, yeah. Trey McBride, yeah. Paris Johnson Jr., yep. Will Johnson, Garrett Williams, Walter Nolan, from what we've seen, yeah. Really, really, really important positions. Really, really, really elite playmakers at times early in their career. And if you've got 5, 6, 7 demons on your team, you can count on every snap. It's like, not many teams can say that. Truly, not many teams can say that. What's it all mean, though? Does it mean anything? Does it matter? We'll discuss it next. And listen, yes, it does matter. Okay, spoiler alert. Today's episode of Locked On Cardinals is brought to you by FanDuel. NFL Sundays, move fast. One big play, suddenly everything feels different. And that's what makes live betting with FanDuel so exciting. You're not just watching the game, you're reacting to it in real time. And with FanDuel, you can place bets as action unfolds, every drive, every momentum swing, every highlight. With FanDuel, you can place bets as the action unfolds, as I said, and it's like, it gives you a different, a different standpoint every quarter of a game. every period of a hockey game, whatever it is, you can see momentum build, you can see momentum wane, and you can take advantage of it if you decide to do so. Live betting is best when the game starts to shift. A receiver gets hot, a defense tightens up, a goal scored, penalty kick, whatever it is. Live spreads and money lines adjust instantly. Player props update as guys head up and as guys heat up, and you can bet next touchdown scores, drive results, totals, and more. It keeps you locked into every snap, every drive, every possibility. So if you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bet all season long. FanDuel, the game moves fast, and so can you. YouTube channel, Locked On Arizona Cardinals. Subscribe. Notifications on. Big dumb face. #1 sports podcast platform. No articles needed. What does it all mean? Outside of the argument, it's the Cardinals, nothing's going to change. And while those people sitting pretty right now, taking history and putting it on your side has worked quite handsomely for you this season. I mean, obviously, it's not ideal that that's what you're right about, but yeah, history's been on your side this season. I struggled yesterday when I talked about the timeline thing. And if you haven't checked it out, check it out. It's in the middle of the show. It's a second segment, I think, where teams that are bad, that move to teams that are good, lose by a lot, lose by a little, win by a little, win by a lot. That's natural progression. Is this the lose by a little season for the Cardinals? Statistically speaking, the answer is yes, outside of the Seattle and 49ers game after the bye. Statistically speaking, the answer is yes. Did Walter Nolan playing all year tip the scale? Allow the Cardinals to get an extra win or two? Will Johnson? Garrett Williams not being on IR? Trey Benson? James Conner getting hurt? Marv missing a couple games? Mac Wilson being out, and I know that I just said Cody Stein playing pretty well, but is Mac Wilson's presence worth a game? Or is this just coaching and situational situation? No. Situational play calling that has just fallen short. You'd assume it's a little bit of both. Most would say the latter. What do the positives mean, though? The Cardinals aren't going to make the playoffs, obviously. They may not win another game this year. But there are positives to watch as we see these guys grow and mature and become powerhouses next season. Trey McBride's already there. You'd expect Marv and Michael Wilson to continue to improve with Jacoby Brissett. We'll see if he's quarterback next year. Paris Johnson Jr. is a staple on the left side. You hope that Will Johnson and Garrett Williams can play the rest of the season so we can see them grow and mature together, because the Cardinals have not had a 1-2 punch at corner, truly, since Patrick Peterson and Antonio Cromartie for that one season, 2014. Over a decade. They haven't had two corners. Think about that. Over a decade, they haven't had two corners. So what does it mean? It changes everything. If you've got two dudes who are CB1 and CB1 who play alongside each other, doesn't matter if Garrett Williams in the slot or he plays outside. And we're seeing the makings of that, which is massively powerful. Walter Nolan jumped in right away. Sack, tackle for loss. I'm a beast. You hope he can stay healthy. Because you may have your version of, not Jalen Carter, because Jalen Carter is a different player, but your impact guy of the A-gap, who is quick, he's strong, and he's a perfect complement to other big bodies that the Cardinals are going to have lining up on the defensive line. Coupled with Josh Sweat, they'll probably add a pass rusher in the draft or in free agency, and a whole bunch of help on the offensive line. But what does it mean? It means that the Cardinals' new core is ready to rip. And other things just need to fall into place. Well, that's easy to say. Other things just need to fall into place. The Cardinals just need to score more points than the other team, and they'll win. Hashtag analysis. It's bigger than that. Long were the years the draft picks didn't work out. And say what you want about Monty Ossenfort. Say what you want about Marv. Say what you want about Darius Robinson. Will Johnson, Walter Nolan, Paris Johnson Jr. Rabbit when he plays. Pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. So taking positives away from this season is tough. Taking positives and thinking positively about this team for the rest of the year is tough, especially with so many things in flux. I implore you on game days, while you enjoy your favorite team play football, watch Will Johnson. Watch Paris Johnson Jr. Watch Garrett Williams. Watch Walter Nolan if he comes back, hopefully, and see what the future of this team is going to be. Because to quote Cable Guy, the future is now. Yeah, I'm not ending a show like that. I don't think I'm glorifying this. I know most things haven't been good this year, but the good has been really good. And those are the things that will get us all through watching this team for the rest of the year. And then once free agency hits, it's just like, the thing I struggle with most is this team's roster is so close. And so many things have gone wrong this year. Coaching, sure. Playing, players not producing, sure. But the good production has been really good. And that's really undeniable. Locked On Cardinals, your team every day. Crossover Thursday tomorrow with my buddy Travis Rogers from Locked On Rams. That should be fun. We'll talk about that tomorrow. Till then, remember, without you, there is no me. I'll talk to you tomorrow.